Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Damn Parenting, your English-speaking parenting podcast from Amsterdam. We are your hosts, Maren and
Eva.
And we want to jump on the trend that's going on. We have seen all the Spotify Wraps over Instagram the past couple of days and weeks even at this point. So we thought, why don't we also do a little damn wrapped about the year that we've been putting out episodes the whole year and get a little bit into the analytics with you. Yeah, just see what were the episodes that were trending most, what were the topics, what were the months, like just get a little bit into the details behind what you see every Wednesday and every other day popping up in your podcast player, wherever you hopefully have subscribed to our channel. And if not, then this is the part where you click, yes, I'm following them. And yes, I'm sharing it. And yes, I'm liking it. But this was just a little advertisement block. So let's jump straight into how was the year for us, Eva? You know all the deets. What was, so I'm just going to say the first one, what was the best episode, the most played episode of 2024?
So 2024 is Raising Global Citizens with Eowyn from Raising Bilingual Children. The first episode she came on, and I just remember just seeing the constant numbers and listeners because it was so important to us to have this episode. And obviously it was something that is just something in our community that we're all grappling with when it comes to languages. So she is our be all and end all number one top rated episode.
Also the way how she talks and describes things. And like, this episode, when I edited it, I was also like, oh my God, this is so good. And it keeps on being played. And even when we re-released it in August, it still got the most plays. So this is really a topic. If you have not, for whatever reason, heard of this episode, if you've been living under a rock, then you go back and listen to this episode because this is really so insightful. And even as a refresher, even if you have listened to this episode before, it's always good when your children get into a different environment and there's new language challenges, just like to go back to the basis and remind yourself of how does multilingualism work? How do our children who grow up with multiple languages process this and how do they move on with the languages? So no surprise there that she is, or this episode is the best.
Well, I have to say, I still go back. I've re-listened to that episode, I'd say probably 3 times already. Mm-hmm. And it's mainly just to support myself or to give me the wording that she used as well. Certain things like that I actually found super useful. So yes, I've re-listened to that myself. I'm included in those numbers.
Good. Then, so that was the most played episode. What was our best performing month this year?
So month-wise, it looks like, well, it's kind of a bit hard to say, but it does look like our May was actually the month because that was our month where we did the maternal mental health episodes where we actually had, and it's unbelievable to be honest, where we had actually 16 episodes in 1 month, which is...
Sometimes I hear these numbers and I'm like, how did we do this? Like, what happened? What was going on? Apparently not much in our life other than the podcast.
Well, I definitely dragged you into this going, hey, let's do one every single day of the month. And you were like, no, I got a life. And I was like, okay, what can we compromise here? So yeah, it was a really important month, I think, for us because we had a lead up to it, I guess, where in April we had spoken about the identity shift in motherhood with Dr. Naomi and matrescence with Elena Standring, which is kind of like an introduction into maternal mental health because sometimes it can be very hard to figure out where to go or who to speak to about it. And so I was so happy when Berit Broekman from the OVG Popoli joined us to actually just discuss what they do, where they are, how you get in contact with them, what they're available for. You know, they're not a miracle center, but they're there to support you if you need that. And I thought that was just really important for anyone who's pregnant or postpartum to know that there is a place that they can go to. Equally, going along the list, like having Emma from the ADHD Potential, she shared her birth story, which I thought was also really important because she did not want a home birth. She wanted a hospital birth. And the fact that she had to fight and she felt she had to fight against the system to get the birth that she wanted. Spoke to Zayanya about baby wearing and obviously the mental health benefits that it provides. We had Heather on to talk about postpartum support. And followed by that, we had a very good episode with Dr. Naomi and Camille from Little Baby Go to Sleep, where we spoke about the impact on sleep on both parents and babies, because it's such a prevalent topic we really need to be aware of. It's not always about the baby sleeping, but the parents also being need to be mindful of the importance of sleep for them as well. And we had Katia on about mindfulness, Angela about returning to work after maternity leave, Mama Ruth for feeding and lactation, Tony from our little birth. She joined us to tell us the story about her NICU baby, which I think was also a really empowering story that she shared with us for anyone out there who's looking to speak to someone who's been through this. Like, no, Tony is just an invaluable source of information, of support, of knowledge. We then had Dr. Naomi on again about talking about loneliness and motherhood, which is kind of surrounding the whole idea of the maternal mental health, I guess, as it were. Many of us have met other parents who feel very lonely because we tend to be the main parents. That's the default parent that we're at. We had Erin come on from Today I Was Asked about talking about anxiety in parenthood. We had Elena join us to talk about something we wanted really to have a discussion about, which was miscarriage and the grief that it holds, and to provide a space and a place and to have a voice to discuss this. It's extremely important, as there are so many that have gone through it and haven't spoken about it and felt ashamed or embarrassed. So we're really thankful for Elena joining us and putting words to this. We again had Emma joining us again about ADHD and motherhood, which was also a really important and actually one of the most popular episodes, I think, that came with it. Actually, and Harriet, the postpartum doula, we had a 3-month postpartum check-in with her. And I think that was a really one of the most popular ones as well, because 3 months postpartum, it feels like so long ago for many of us. But the thing is, like, it's so important for people when they're pregnant to even listen to that, just to know what to anticipate. And we also had Amelie from You Are What You Eat, the prenatal nutritionist, again, discussing the importance of food and our mental health. So in all, that whole month was like a really powerful month to hopefully give people the knowledge of who's in their community and their village that they can reach out to.
Yeah, and also the topics that to focus on, because sometimes you think, okay, something's wrong, and then you look at one topic and then you think, oh, this doesn't resonate with me, or I've tried this, but nothing is better, or nothing has changed, or I don't see an improvement. So we really wanted to bring as many aspects as possible to bring onto the radar, bring onto the table, like the nutrition. I was like, of course, yes, this is such an important topic. And if you have already looked at everything else, but there's still something, like, just try, like, just another thing to be looking at. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then move on to the next. But if you only have 2 things to look at and you're like, okay, this doesn't resonate with me, so clearly I'm the problem. So clearly something's wrong with me. So this is really, that was so important to us that we really wanted to take this 360-degree angle on it and be like, okay, what else could be a topic in this? What else could be a factor in this, to really give you as much things to look at and to check for yourself, to hopefully find a good way and mixture of solutions that work for you, so you can really, strengthen your mental health and get over a hurdle, and also know for the next one what to pay attention to and be like, oh, I remember that really helped me. And so that's always also a good month to look back to when you are feeling under the weather and when you are feeling like, something just doesn't sit right, just to look through and be like, well, okay, I'll take a look at this again. And maybe now in my situation now, with the context being changed, with the age of my child being changed, with whatever changed for me, take a refreshed look at those different aspects.
Otherwise, we had a couple of new entrants, I think, this year, because we only started the damn chats because last Christmas we had people saying, hey, this is great. But exactly. Who are you? Like, can you share some of your reality? And so we started Damn Chats. I was checking since we started that in January. And so we ran Damn Chats up until about August, I think. We did some in October as well, or November, I think. The most popular topic out of all of them was the housing episode, where I just went on a rant. Essentially,
everyone they were probably, okay, what are the secret tips? What can we do? How did they get a house?
It was, and it was really like, I mean, we've spoken about so many things, from pacifiers to sleep to momtrepreneurs, like titles, to just anything and everything that was reflecting on us, really. And I guess that obviously is, I mean, we're in Amsterdam, one of the most densely populated areas there is. So yes, this is obviously a key thing for many people out there. So we hope it brought some information. Also, we hope it might have settled unsettled you a little bit, because it's not the be all and end all to live in the city as well. So many people have moved outside the city and probably have a better quality of life, even though they have to travel into Amsterdam or they work from home, whatever it might be. So yeah, I was quite surprised. And our book club, which actually started in June, and the idea was just to run it for a couple of months during the summer, just to give people a little bit of a feel to what to expect, I guess. That was actually quite a cool one, because it was actually the first episode is actually the most popular, because the book was The Happiest Kids in the World, Bringing Up Children the Dutch Way. And I was really surprised, because personally, I thought the third book we did, which was about, it was Dr. Siegel, Dan Siegel, I think it was. Yeah.
Whole Brain Child, or
the Whole Brain Child. Yeah. That was book club 3, The Whole Brain Child, with Elizabeth. And I really thought that would have been the most popular, but it turns out the first one was actually, the most popular. So that was an interesting one. Yeah. For the rest, when it comes to looking at what to listen to the most, what people are listening to the most, when you're actually in pregnancy, the most popular episode for most people is actually the Dutch birth landscape with Elena Standring, because she talked about giving birth in Amsterdam, and she really went into a couple of different places and gave feedback about it. And then obviously
we covered it all. We covered the geboortecentrums, we covered the hospitals, and she really went into detail about all of these places. She didn't just say, all right, you can go to Olwege Oost or West, but she really said, all right, what is the specialty about Olwege West? What is Oost? What is this? If you have a choice of where you can be and you're not bound to a certain neighborhood or whatever. So that was really, I think this is an all-time classic that is also going to age well, because it's always a good source of information. So
and just likewise,
we did that.
But likewise, it's the verloskundige, and it's the kraamzorg, and it's the doulas, and the postpartum preparations with Harriet as well. Those 4 episodes always stayed at the top, because I think even you, when we were discussing the verloskundige, you were even surprised coming out of it going oh wow, I did not know it took that much to be qualified. Or the kraamzorg is what's actually involved. You were so blown away with those episodes, and I was thinking, this is the thing, is we really need to educate, because so many people feel very unsure about what these services are. And then obviously with midwife, we go, we know what to expect from you. But it's oh, no. It's it's not the same qualification as it is from any other country in this world. And it's just giving them the recognition that they deserve as well for their job. And also hopefully empowering the people to help themselves know what to expect also from them. Those were great. And then with Dr. Naomi, obviously she's been on every single month to date since we started. And her most popular episode has been the identity shift in motherhood, which, as I said earlier, was one of the lead ups to our whole maternal mental health episode, because we do. It's matrescence. We shift, we change.
And this was even the time where I had not heard of the word, I think, right? This is, Elena came after. But this was the first time where you and I were discussing, something was and is still going on. We need to put a word to it. We need to find something. And that was really the first stepping stone into the whole matrescence world, into this process. And then we kicked it off with Elena. And then, we did a whole month for this topic, because I still cannot understand how this is not common knowledge, and how there is still women out there what is happening to me? What's going on? And every time I see something like this, even this morning, someone shared a video of a film snippet where the woman was exactly talking about this, okay, what's going on? I have no idea what's happening. And she's naming everything on the lists of this is the whole process of matrescence. And I'm going in there in the comments yes, this is called matrescence. This is the book for it. We are the podcast. I'm really trying every time when I see this, or every time when I'm overhearing a conversation, I feel like I need to give this word to people. I need to give, because I just remember it was a veil was unlifted. I was oh my God, okay, the earth is not flat. Oh, right. It was really this kind of an impact that it had on me, because just everything started making sense. And the amount of pressure that was lifted off my chest and my shoulders, knowing I'm not wrong, I'm not too little, too dumb, too less, or whatever I thought, because I thought, what's going on? Why am I having such a fucking hard time with this? And I'm not having 2 children. I'm not having 2 under 2, and I'm struggling. So just knowing the relief that this gave me, and the peace, and the just everything moving forward, I just wish on every woman or person going through childbirth and being a parent, knowing about this and making them seen and felt and heard, and just knowing they're not failing. And this, I can go on 10 more minutes about this.
I know you can, trust me. 10 more minutes. I know you can do 10 hours.
Yeah, please do yourself a favor, and do anyone you know who is going through this, do them a favor and give them this word, give them the book, forward them the episode. It is so important.
It really is. And it's like, the funny thing is the term is like about 50 years old.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 55, 57 years old now. And it's the fact that it's like only in the last like 15 years that it's kind of coming about, a little bubbly. But this all stems from women having a little bit more power, having a little bit more freedom, having gotten the education, having gone through it, and having to fight tooth and nail, which is, and like, I'm not tooting our own home, but it's kind of like what we're doing here is the fact that we've had to do our struggles. We've had to do our research. We've spent so many hours doubling our research. Like, I'll research one thing, you're researching the same thing. And then we're like, hey, what bottle are you getting? What pump did you get? What diaper? And we're constantly feeling like our own decision is not the right one until we have a community to tell us, to reassure us. And the fact for me was like, this podcast was always going to be about providing people the knowledge, the facts, the information, and on a platform where it's easily accessible for people, that they don't have to doom scroll to try and find something that they want. You know, I mean, there'll be a million more episodes about matrescence in general, because it's so...
There better be.
Multi-level, but I mean, it's so multi-level. There's like the body image episode with Elena. I mean, that came out of the matrescence in April, because we were talking for nearly an hour and a half, and we were like, we got to cut this topic off. We were talking until 11 o'clock at night.
Do yourself a favor, go into this episode, because Elena shared the most beautiful poem with us about the body. And I cried when we recorded it. I cried when I edited it. I cried when I re-listened to it. It is so good. And it gives you, again, I mean, you know, I'm like the biggest fangirl of Elena. So that being said, on one hand, but just that poem was so beautiful and it touched upon me. And do yourself a favor. If you are right now in some kind of struggle with yourself about your body or your body image, or you know someone, just go back and listen to this and feel the softness return to your body, and feel the softness return to your mind and your mental health when you think about your body image. It's really, really powerful.
Just so you know, the poem's called Today I Asked My Body What She Needed, and it's by Holly Holden. She's from the UK. Yeah, it's a very...
Do yourself a favor. Yeah. Read that. Read it, or have Elena listen to
exactly.
Like read it to you. This is just another extra.
For the rest, I mean, honestly, Montessori with Simone Davis obviously was one of our top listened to. School choices, school languages, also very key, because it's so important for so many of us. Trying to understand the Dutch system of, here's 9 different types of school. Now go figure it out. And it's like, I don't know the difference. And the Dutch
your child will be 4 when you go in, and you will be sitting at a school conference when they're 2.5, looking at the place where they, yes.
It's very, I was also so thrilled to have Dr. Derlo join us to talk about the C-section. And he is also the only one in the Netherlands. I think he is training people up to be a mother-assisted C-section, so that mothers themselves get to actually take their own child from their body in that way. And it's so, oh my God, the photographs on his Instagram are just phenomenal. It's just so beautiful.
He is also such a sweetheart. It just warms my heart up, like seeing his passion about birth and seeing his passion about empowering mothers. This is what he is all about. He says every mother deserves to feel powerful, connected. How can I, as a man, help the women make this connection feel? Like, I was so impressed by him as a person as well, and his approach. It was so beautiful to see that a man is dedicating his career and his life to this topic and really made this his thing. Talks about it, is open about it, is happy to come.
He's written a book about it, by the way.
Yeah, like happy to come on our little tiny podcast. He's really like a name. And I was like, oh my God, I was so nervous. But he was just the sweetest person. So this is also so nice to see that
we're fangirling here.
Yeah, he's like out there empowering women, giving them a powerful birth experience. And he just wanted to learn it. And Yeah, so also very, very impressive topic.
For the rest, I mean, I was really actually happy. I met someone recently and they were talking about how the pediatric dentist episode helped them. And I was like, oh, great. Because we never hear feedback. This is, I think, one of the problems I have with the podcast is I feel like I'm speaking to the void. So I don't know who listens. It would be so nice to hear from people. Send us a message. Send us your favorite episode. Send us topics you want to actually hear about. It's only when we get out there. And I think I'm quite, public on the fact that I'm not public. I stay indoors and I am basically identify myself as a mom and a homebody and I don't have a life. And I think as Maren put it, like we were so COVID's mindset until only earlier this year that we were like, oh, people actually go out and do stuff.
Yeah, so like, why are these people here? What's going on? And it's not common anymore.
It was such a mind shift. And it was like, I'm still trying to navigate that episode. But yeah, the pediatric dentist, having Kelly come on and really talk to us, I'm still talking about it because I'm still telling people like, oh, this is what she said. And, and I brought my daughter to the dentist recently as well, again, just to look. Oh, and here's a funny note. My daughter's got a cheese tooth. Now, I don't know if anyone knows this. And apparently 1 in 12 people in the Netherlands get it. And it's basically when you're born without the enamel around a tooth. So she has one tooth that has no enamel on it. So it's yellow. Thankfully, it's at the back. But he's like, yeah, just be aware of whatever goes on. And I was like, this is new. So I was thinking, do I need to get the dentist to come back and talk about this? But no, that's just my problem. I'll have to deal with that later. For the rest, I mean, honestly, all our episodes are, loneliness and motherhood, growing together, cultivating our own village. We've got wellness and womb, Brunch and Babes with Gemma from Mama Social. Again, shout out to Gemma for actually coming back to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. Always a pleasure to speak to her. And I miss her because I haven't seen her in so long. Half the time is because all our events are in West now. And I'm like, come back over here. Boredom in motherhood for our ADHD month in October. The boredom with motherhood was such a resonating episode. We got some comments in YouTube, on Spotify, where people were like, this is not spoken about enough. People with ADHD already have to suffer boredom, but to have it with ADHD, forget about it. It's like the most crippling thing. So thank you, I guess, is what I really want to say to every single person that has come on and joined us. Our resident psychologist, Dr. Naomi Gibson. I nearly said Campbell again. Also for Elizabeth Good, joining us from Good Reads or Writes, for doing the book club with us. It's actually been great because it's forcing me to read, and also been a pleasure to read some of the books and to have a discussion about it. And also led by someone who knows what they're talking about is very helpful. Also for Harriet for sharing her checkups with us, her 3-month and her 6-month checkup. It's been so helpful, I hope, to so many people out there who are about to give birth or who have just given birth, and that they're able to actually listen to a professional postpartum doula discuss her own and know that what her learnings are, what has helped her, and even what she's actually learned out of the process as well.
This one was especially cool because I thought this is also so cool for her that she has this now, so she can go back. It's like a photo album when you go back and you're like, oh my God, yes. And then she has this episode where she can read it even when she was pregnant. And then the 3 month, or did we do her birth? Yeah, I think so. And then
no, we didn't do her birth.
No, but it kind of like came into a little bit of the discussion. But then these milestones, like these markers, to hear back and be like, oh my God, yes, this is what I was going through. This is what the baby was going through. And like even just following her on Instagram, like her journey into motherhood, I'm really in awe of how she is with her attitude towards things and just following her instincts and following her gut and like let things be. And I'm watching this from the outside and I can feel so much peace. I don't know if this is going on.
That's the thing I always get is self-compassion from her.
Yeah. I just see someone who cuts themselves slack, who is gentle with themselves and communicates this and lets the world know, I am being gentle with myself. I deserve to be gentle and you deserve to be gentle. And if you're not there yet, I'm showing you that I'm gentle with myself and I'm okay. And this is so powerful. So also if you, follow her, Nourish and Nest, postpartum doula, Harriet, also such a big like support from her. And if you are looking for someone to support you, she also does online consultations now. And she has this amazing thing where I think it's doula in the pocket or something, where she supports you through WhatsApp, wherever you are in the world, with messages, voice messages. And also she said just words of encouragement that you sometimes need to hear, and not just, this is the broth you need to drink, this is the thing you need to do, but really like, you are okay. I'm just sending you a message of you are okay. you're doing fine. So if you want to also gift someone something, then check out Harriet. She offers a lot of great things for pregnancy and also postpartum, of course.
So, I mean, yeah, as I said, we've had some amazing guests. Obviously, Elena, we have Isabel Cruz, we've had Claudia Carter from Ludicia as well on talking about the neurodivergent community that is here, which is super important for everyone to really be aware of, because in our ADHD month, we were so happy that we've had people like Anne Graham join us, from the author of Jelly Pie Firefly. We had Kate, who joined us as well, who works in a school and tries to help people and support families as well, not just the children there. And Emma from ADHD Potential as well, where she was discussing the boredom and motherhood as well. I mean, there's so many here. Faye from Care Psychology talking about, building the resilience. It's been a whirlwind this year for us. The only thing I learned was we have a village here. It's just the fact that we have to ask.
Yeah. And we have to bring the village a little closer together, because what I also, going through this whole process with the podcast, have seen, and this is also what we experience, that we have amazing people here in the city and we have amazing communities. And this is also the problem, that we have so many different little islands that are floating around and everyone builds their community around them. But then the one thing that I hope that we can carry on into the next year is bringing those communities a little closer together and really tapping into each other's potential, not holding barriers up or gatekeeping anything, but really like, hey, we are in this together. You want to create your community, your village. Let's join, let's emerge, let's make this patchwork thing for everyone and not just loose ends here and there. And then if you are a new parent and all right, I have 10 communities that I have to visit because this person is there, this person is there, this person is there, then what's the point of the community when it's so overwhelming to get to those places or those people? So also shout out to everyone who is working within these communities and who is building things up. Let's come together and make this a big cozy soup and stew for everyone. So everyone can sit there and eat at the big table, but really let's get together a little more and let's connect with the thing in mind that what Naomi said also in her episode, said when we were talking about conflict, that we are a team, not just as a parent team, but also as a community. We are a team, and every member of the team tries to do the same thing. They're trying to make parenthood a little bit easier. They're trying to prepare people. They're trying to hold space for people. So let's make this a big effort that we do together. So one day we can all sit in our yurt together and hold the space for everyone. But really, let's just move a little closer. Let's get together.
I have to say, it comes from a place of gratitude. I'm grateful for being a mother. And so by that I'm putting in my actions, I'm actually trying to be part of the community through whatever action, be it with a community center or a podcast or events or whatever. So I find that the gratitude is a superpower, and that from gratitude comes a sense of purpose that you should do something for other people. And that's essentially what this podcast is we're doing it for the other people who've come with us or behind us or after us, or however you want to express it, but coming into a new community where it's not your culture, it's not your language, you don't know anyone, it's not your family and best friends. And it's like being vulnerable is one of the hardest things in this world to do, but that's exactly what we have to do to actually be part of a community, is to actually be vulnerable. And I think I have been vulnerable on the podcast. I know I've been pretty sheltered about a lot of stuff. Maren, you're very, very open book and very vulnerable at times. I do remember both of us with the tissues, with Elena telling us the story about the woman at Newmarket and the flowers. And
yes,
it's been a journey. And, we really hope that this podcast has actually helped anyone, everyone, one person, be it mother, father, partner, whoever it might be. We just hope at least something has touched someone.
Yeah. And speaking of journey, this is also kind of getting into the little more sentimental part of this episode. Of course, we are humans. So Eva and I are humans. We are superwomen, but we're also human. So we also have, of course, our own journeys that is going on behind the podcast. So stepping into the new year, we also want to focus a little bit more on our journeys, or in particular, I want to focus a little bit more on my private journeys. So we will take a little, step back. We'll put things a little bit on hold. I don't want to say, well, it's not over. We're definitely coming back in some shape or form, maybe with a new arrangement. So, and you can hear I'm struggling, I'm emming, I'm pausing, and I'm playing with my little, playing with the cord here.
You're not looking at me.
It's so I'm going to take a step back, and Eva's going to carry on with the podcast. I will be popping in here and there, and I will be supporting Eva in the background. And I've told her this. I'm always there. I'm always there for the pod. I'm always there also for you, community, to reach out if you want to reach out to me, or if you see me. I will also be then having the time a little bit more to jump into the actual physical community, go to events, see you guys out there. I am still available and accessible. I'm just going to take a little step back, but Eva's going to be there, continuing bringing amazing guests on. And as I said, I will always be popping in here and there. But just so you know what's going on, yeah. But also Eva is going to be taking it a little bit slower to reorganize, to really bump up the quality of the content even more.
Oh, no stress. We didn't talk about that part.
But just like, so you like taking it a little like step further into even more professionalism, shaping it up a little. Yeah, more, because we've been experimenting the whole year, and now it has also crystallized a little bit out, or become more visible. What are the things that work? What are the formats that work? What's the look of things? So that's going to be happening a little bit more in the upcoming months. So just so you know, you'll be hearing me very little and Eva more. But so that's out. It's out. Here we are.
There you go. So this is what we've kind of been holding on for, I guess, for a few weeks at this stage. But some of the community will know.
I'm not pregnant. So if anyone's like, oh, she's pregnant. No, I'm not.
Then we would definitely keep you on this, because I'll be like, tell me what's going on now.
Oh yeah. I would be like, hell yeah. Now I'm going to try this all out. No, I'm not pregnant, but I'm just taking a little more focus on my journey.
So for me, my journey is going to be trying to figure out this podcast, I guess, on my own now. And in a way, I guess I'm going to tap into my community, and I'm going to ask here. So I'm going to ask you listeners to please send me a message. Send me a message on Instagram at Damn Parenting Podcast. You can send an email, damnparentingpodcast@gmail.com. Probably have my number, God knows. But I want to hear from the community. I want to hear, what do you want to hear? Is there things that we're missing? Are there things that you want to talk about again? Do you want to come on and talk? Is there someone you think should come on and talk on the episode? We really want to shape it. I'm still saying we, because basically it has been our baby. So I'm probably going to keep talking about we. So this is my ask. It's Christmas time, and I would love to be showered with gifts from all our listeners, with messages either to Maren to wish her well. I mean, she's not sick, but it's the fact that she is going on her journey. But or equally messages to me, just to let me know what's been your favorite episode, or you can share your Spotify Wrapped with us if we're up there on yours. If there's something you want, I mean, that's the whole idea of the podcast. It's a part of the community, and so it's to serve the community. So, give us a shout out. And if there's anywhere that doesn't know about the podcast, why don't you put it out there? If it's on your LinkedIn, if it's on your Instagram or your Threads or your TikTok, or I'm missing social channels. I don't know if people do Snapchat or not at this stage. No, I mean, we've got too much. We don't have enough time. That's my ask. If I'm to continue this podcast on my own, I want to do it with my community. And so please send me your messages. Let me know what it is. I'm open and I'm excited. I'm not going to be here, needless to say. It's Christmas time and I am off to celebrate Christmas, but it'll definitely give me a spring in my step for the new year. Definitely will not be having every week an episode for the coming couple of months as I rejig, realign, and I'm now going to have to learn editing apparently. So Maren, this will be the Christmas gift to me, is showing me how to do editing. There are a few episodes already pre-recorded.
Even to the comment where we got the compliment of, oh, I love your podcast because it's so unedited. What? Spending freaking hours to edit. But yes, it's not edited in the form of that. We are not scripted, of course.
And we don't edit people's voice, or we're not editing what they say to us. So we have a couple of episodes that are recorded. So I will release them in January, February, or March, but I need a little bit of a break and I need to figure it out. But if you know anything, if you want to tell me anything, if you want to share anything, if you want to come forward, drop me a message.
Even if you've been always saying, oh man, I wish I was on this podcast. I wish I could support them. I mean, Eva is also open to an apprentice, or even to someone who's like, yes, I want to support you. Yes, I want to fill Maren's spot. Then go ahead.
No one could ever fill your spot.
I know. But if you want to, join, then just, it's work. That's being said. It's work. It's dedication. You have to put in your time. But if you feel this is your call, then also reach out. And then, yeah, I mean, Eva can discuss this with you.
Leave me more homework while you're leaving.
Yeah. So that's being said. Yeah. So
with that, I guess, we're going to wrap this up and say ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. This is a little early Christmas ending because obviously next week everyone's going to be very, very super busy. We're wishing everyone safe travels. If you're going on home, be it to your own family or the in-laws, good luck to you. If you're staying in Amsterdam, stay dry. I hope that it's nice weather for everyone. And yeah, New Year is coming. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to happen. Hopefully fresh starts, and we're out of this Mercury in retrograde situation that Elena keeps texting us about. So for now, Maren, would you like to?
Yeah, we'll hear you on the next episode. Well, you won't be hearing me, but you will be hearing something coming out on your player, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Instagram, Damn Parenting Podcast, and drop Eva a freaking email, damnparentingpodcast@gmail.com.
Or Instagram.
Reach out to her, or Instagram, wherever. But please get in touch with her so she has a drive to keep this going. And I wish you the best new year. Get into the new year in your own manner. Know that you deserve all the respect, you deserve all the love, you deserve all the gratitude. You're worthy. There is no version of you that's less. All the versions of you combined put you in the place where you are now. The journey is forward. Take every step mindfully, and I will hear you at one point. Bye-bye.
Bye.